From the moment he was born into global attention, Brooklyn Beckham has lived a life watched, questioned, and constantly redefined. Fame did not arrive as a sudden breakthrough. It was always there, waiting, shaping expectations before he ever chose a path of his own. This documentary explores who Brooklyn Beckham really is, how his journey has unfolded, why his name continues to spark debate, and most importantly, why he is trending right now. This story is not just about celebrity heritage, it is about identity, pressure, reinvention, and the challenge of building credibility under a spotlight that never turns off. Over the next few minutes, we will examine the early life of Brooklyn Beckham, his education and interests, the beginnings of his career, the rise in public visibility, key achievements, and the struggles that have followed him. We will then take a deep and analytical look at the current trends surrounding his name, explaining exactly why the public conversation has intensified now and what it means for his future. Brooklyn Beckham was born into one of the most recognizable families in modern popular culture. From infancy, his image appeared in global media, not because of his own actions, but because of the legacy surrounding him. This environment offered unique opportunities, but it also removed anonymity entirely. Childhood for him was not private. Every appearance, every interest, and every change was documented and discussed by the public. Growing up in this environment shaped his worldview early. He was exposed to fashion, sports, entertainment, and media from a young age. Unlike many children who discover interests slowly, Brooklyn Beckham was surrounded by multiple industries at once. This wide exposure allowed him to experiment, but it also created confusion about where he truly belonged. Expectations were often inherited, not earned, and that distinction would follow him into adulthood. Education played a complicated role in his development. Rather than following a single traditional academic path, Brooklyn Beckham explored creative fields early on. Photography became one of his first serious interests. It offered something that appeared personal and expressive, a way to communicate without speaking. Formal education in this area gave him technical skills, but public reaction was mixed. Supporters saw ambition, while critics questioned whether opportunity came from talent or privilege. This tension between effort and perception became a defining theme. When Brooklyn Beckham began sharing creative work publicly, the response was immediate and polarized. Some praised the aesthetic and intention behind it, others dismissed it as undeserved attention. What mattered more was that his work was being judged not on its own terms, but against his family name. His career did not follow a single straight line. Instead, it moved across multiple fields, reflecting both curiosity and uncertainty. After photography, Brooklyn Beckham explored modeling, appearing in campaigns and magazine features. His presence was marketable, recognizable, and aligned with modern fashion culture. Yet again, debate followed. Visibility came easily, but credibility remained contested. Over time, he shifted focus toward food and cooking, a move that surprised many observers. Cooking offered something different. It was practical, skill-based, and less reliant on image alone. Through digital platforms, Brooklyn Beckham began sharing recipes, cooking videos, and lifestyle content. This phase marked a strategic change. Instead of presenting himself as an artist or model, he positioned himself as a learner and enthusiast. The rise in his recognition did not come from one defining success, but from constant exposure. Social media played a critical role. Platforms allowed Brooklyn Beckham to communicate directly with audiences, bypassing traditional gatekeepers. However, they also amplified criticism. Every post became a subject of analysis, and every mistake became public. Major achievements in his career are often measured differently than for others. Publishing projects, brand collaborations, and media appearances added to his professional resume. While these accomplishments were significant in scale, public reaction often focused less on results and more on access. This created an unusual situation where success did not silence critics, but instead fueled further discussion. Struggles and controversies became unavoidable. Accusations of nepotism followed nearly every professional step. Critics argued that opportunities were inherited rather than earned. Supporters countered that pressure and scrutiny were the price of visibility. Brooklyn Beckham rarely responded directly, choosing instead to continue working, adjusting his direction quietly. Now this brings us to the most important question. Why is Brooklyn Beckham trending right now? The current surge in attention did not happen randomly. It began with a combination of recent media appearances, lifestyle changes, and renewed public discussion around his career choices. In particular, his recent projects and interviews sparked a broader debate about identity, independence, and credibility. The trend started when online discussions highlighted a contrast between his public image and his professional output. Clips, quotes, and moments from recent content began circulating widely. These moments were not controversial in isolation, but together they reignited an old conversation. People began asking whether Brooklyn Beckham had finally found a stable direction or whether he was still searching. What makes this trend different from earlier waves of attention is timing. The audience has changed. Social media users today are more critical, more analytical, and more vocal as adults. At the same time, Brooklyn Beckham is older, more independent, and more visible as an adult rather than a celebrity child. This shift has made comparisons unavoidable. Another key factor is cultural context. Conversations about privilege, access, and merit are more prominent now than ever before. When Brooklyn Beckham releases new content, it enters this broader discussion automatically. People are not only evaluating his work, but also using it as an example in a larger societal debate. The trend gained momentum as media outlets picked up on online reactions. Articles, commentary videos, and opinion pieces began framing his story as a case study of modern fame. This coverage amplified public interest, pushing his name into trending sections across platforms. Why now and not before? Because this moment represents a crossroads. Brooklyn Beckham is no longer experimenting quietly. His choices now suggest long-term positioning. Audiences sense that this phase could define the rest of his career. That sense of transition has made people pay closer attention. This trend matters because it may reshape how he is perceived. If earlier attention focused on what he was given, current discussion focuses on what he does with it. The difference is subtle but important. For the first time, public conversation is less about potential and more about outcome. Public and media reactions remain divided. Some view him with empathy, acknowledging the difficulty of building an identity under constant judgment. Others remain skeptical, holding him to higher standards because of his background. Media coverage reflects this split, often presenting balanced but critical analysis. As of now, Brooklyn Beckham continues to work, share content, and refine his public image. Future possibilities remain open. He could commit deeply to one field and build long-term credibility. He could continue blending lifestyle, media, and brand collaborations. Or he could step back, redefining success on his own terms. His long-term legacy is still unwritten. He represents a generation born into digital visibility, navigating fame without choosing it. His impact may not be measured by awards or titles, but by how his journey reshapes conversations about privilege, effort, and self-definition in the modern age. In the end, the story of Brooklyn Beckham is not about escaping a famous name, but about living with it honestly. It is a story still unfolding, shaped as much by public perception as by personal choice. And as long as that balance remains unresolved, attention will continue to follow. If you want more deep, analytical documentaries like this, exploring the real stories behind public figures and cultural trends, make sure to subscribe and stay with us for the next episode.